I think that's why I feel kind of safe, because not all the people here are ignorant, so they're more accepting to us.
For me, it's been very positive. People are very supportive. Especially in the last year. Last year's a little crazy. So my experience is people just been out helping and they've been just want to help.
There are sounds of hope and joy. Neighbors being a blessing to one another. These are the communities that we all want to live in, and we all have a role to play. We've talked to people in the areas from all of our counties who shared their experiences, and not all of them are negative, but we want to make sure we are talking about solutions. How do we move to that community where we are all one family, our brothers and sisters, living as brothers and sisters? So I want to talk about solutions and get your insight. And Justin, we'll start with you. There's a saying, when it's all said and done, more is said than done. How do we move this forward to actually do something?
In the therapy room, I say the first step to change is awareness. So becoming aware, becoming educated. And awareness is so powerful because at that point it gives you a choice. And it's two things. We can continue on the road we're going on where our brothers and sisters are getting harmed and hurt, or we can stand up and actually do something about it. So I would say awareness.
Take a step. Sony, you also alluded to this earlier in our talk.
Yeah, as far as what Justin just said, actually was perfect, because awareness. Everything's going to be coming in waves. There's going to come an unfortunate point where this is no longer in the headlines. But as long as we carry that momentum that we've established today forward, we're always going to have some level of conversation related specifically to these issues. And so one day when it unfortunately happens again at some point in time, we would not have started from scratch.
What's one thing about your culture you'd like people to know?
While I am proudly Lao American, I'd really actually like to focus on the Asian American culture in general, not just my home ethnicity. As far as Asian Americans is concerned, echoing again what Janet was speaking about, the differences really when it comes to Asian Americans. We spoke out a lot during the conversation today about the different types of Asians, as far as someone who may be newly immigrated to the country versus someone who's been well assimilated, being second, third, fourth generation. And so when policies or opinions are formed around Asian Americans, please understand that perspective affects all of us. But in doing so, you have to make sure that you're accounting for someone who is literally fresh off the boat, or someone like with Dr. Tank's family, who's been here for generations. And so painting a brush with just a very broad stroke of this is the issue that's affecting Asian Americans, and this is the fix for it. That may not be true depending on who it is that you're actually referring to. And until we have a clear distinction as to what type of Asian American we're referring to, as far as, again, their cultural understanding, their assimilation, and their language barriers, for example, that's the best step forward to see progress.
So Janet, what is one thing about your culture you'd like people to know?
Yes, I would really like for most American people to understand not all Chinese people are from one place. Because we have very long histories, like thousands of years of history. And then there are people in Hong Kong, there are people in Singapore, there are people in China, and there are people in Taiwan. We all speak Mandarin Chinese or different dialects, but we're not the same. So a lot of American people don't understand that, especially like I'm from Taiwan originally, and then people ask me, Taiwan? Are you from Thailand? Are you Thai? They're mixed up with the Thailand and Taiwan, and that's really the most part I want people to understand. Although we all look very much alike and maybe speaking the same Mandarin Chinese, but we're not the same.
Dr. Tang, if you can share what you would like people to know about one thing about your culture, what would that be?
People like me who were born here in America, more and more, our culture is actually becoming the American culture as well. So we're assimilating into the culture, we're part of Americans. So we call ourselves Asian Americans, but we're really Americans because we were born here. I mean, a lot of people who live in Florida are not from Florida, right? And so we all have different stories. My neighborhood I have two Hispanic neighbors, I have a Chinese American family, a Vietnamese American family, a black family down the street. We get together, we talk, and if you are more comfortable with people, if you know people and you like them, and then this is going to help immeasurably.
And that conversation that you mentioned that is so powerful because it is organic, then the talk like we're having today in front of cameras actually happens, in front of your front door.
I think the other thing that we see is that, my parents were immigrants as well, but the next generation, Sony's generation, my generation, we kind of understand America better. We know that we need to engage. We know that, and we're out there, and there's more of us now because we have more opportunities to get into the community and engage the community. So I think that's going to help a lot too, as long as we keep young people involved.
Absolutely, and the visibility helps what we're doing today, and it's something that has to continue, and we have to continue the conversation. But again, when all is said and done, more is said and done, we have to do something. We have to do something to forge those friendships and the neighborhood. So thank you all so much for giving us your time and sharing your knowledge, very personal, intimate stories with us. It will all benefit our community.